I love this topic, and I feel like it's really timely because just kind of in your work and what we've been seeing on social media and some of the comments we've been receiving, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and tensions just seem a little bit high. So overall, what is kind of, maybe just give us a diagnostic, Brandon, and then how leaders can approach this tension in the workplace.
Yeah, great, Whitney. So first, let's step back for a moment and talk about communication, particularly as leaders. So whenever we're communicating, we're either doing one of two things. We're either adding value or diluting from existing value. Mm-hmm. Adding value or diluting from existing value. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we're adding value, we're making a particular point, or we're sharing information, or we're helping people see things differently. When we're diluting, we're over talking or over communicating. So a classic example of that is an email that you've probably received sometime in the last week that is just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. Instead of 5 bullets, it's 5 paragraphs. Well, they're diluting from value, right? We got to read all that. We got to figure out what they're trying to say. There's a lot in there. It would help us out if they just said, here are the big 5 things. Here's what I need you to do. So we're either adding value or diluting from existing value, which is really important because you don't necessarily want to over communicate, but there are times when we do need to increase the frequency. So let's also talk about communication itself. So whether we're writing an email, having a conversation, doing a presentation, there are 3 main components to any communication. Okay, so the first one is structure. So think of it as going into the grocery store. Okay, you would never go into the grocery store without grabbing a basket or shopping cart, particularly if you got a long list. I go get my parents' groceries every Sunday. They typically give me a nice long list. If I went in there with just my arms, I'd be dropping stuff left and right. So we want to make sure we've got good structure. So what does that mean? It means it's well organized, it's logical. You know, we people can see where we're going. Whether it's an email and we're using, headers, or it's a presentation and we're communicating. Here's what we've learned. Here's where we're going. Here's my ask. It's got a clear structure. The second part is content. Content is just like Goldilocks and the 3 bears. You don't want too much content because then people don't know what you're communicating. Too little content, it's not enough substance or facts. You want just the right amount. So there's this fine line of kind of getting just the right amount. And that, again, is true whether we're having a conversation, an email, or a presentation. Okay. And then lastly is style. And that's how we deliver it. So do our facial expressions or our tone, if we're saying it to someone, does that match the message? Right? You wouldn't get ready to do a bunch of layoffs and that being a very somber moment and say, hey, everybody, I want to open with a joke today. That probably wouldn't be the way we'd want to communicate that. So we want to make sure that our style is matching with the tone and tenor of the message.